Listen, Fizz, you know I would never lie to you again. And it's not like I just told you that the pie may or not be a lie.
Well, I know I should be wary. Still I venture someplace scary. Ghostly haunting, I turn loose.
It's showtime!
I guess what's going on? Memes here. And all right, full disclosure, the pie is a lie. The other pie may not be a lie if Mr. Brian Romel is actually telling the truth. Fizz, I know. I will get you some tasty snacks to make up for it. The way your face just unmolded like that was, I don't even know what to think about that. Actually,
It better
no.
be extremely tasty snacks, or I no talk you.
How was the fudge?
Oh, that was extremely tasty.
Okay, all right. So I need to set a bar of at least the tastiest fudge driving across country, or at least within that area. I forget which way I was going. We may or may not be able to make that happen again. Why does everybody have so many different names on the Twitter, and do they not use the same things again and again?
That kills me.
You finally flipped.
No, that was a long time ago. Fizz, your mouth was just moving, but no words came out.
I know it does that sometimes.
I know. Oh, McCracken, what's your thingy on Twitter? I forgot what it was. It's another name, so you don't need to put it in here. But no, I was thinking about your. Oh God, why is Twitter such a dumpster fire? If I call it X, will it become less of a dumpster fire? No, I don't think
No,
so.
it
I feel
actually
that
gets worse.
Yeah, because now I'm just Xing and crossing all these other things in my head there. But there we go. All right, I gotcha. There we go. Okay, because where was it? Oh God, Twitter absorbs so much of our lives. Why? Here we go. Here, we'll fill it with I'm a mun on a story. Y'all take care.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
Well,
memes is a. I said memes. Memes is a mun.
Yes, he is a mun.
I meant to say. You know what that works? That actually works.
He's a nun.
Memes,
Yes, he's a nun.
memes is a mun. That actually makes way more sense. Yeah, I like
Yes,
The
that.
soy sauce is kicking in.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, a mun, a
mun.
nun that
a man
that
nun.
identifies as a monk.
And that was the moment she remembered the word monk exists.
Yes, seeing as she actually had a professor that was a monk too. I'm just like, I mean, if you're gonna do that, then who knows? But where was that? Okay, Twitter just broke it. All right, so we'll go to the other part of this. All right, so as we had for our delicious thumbnail, we had I'll share with the class here. We had this delicious looking, slightly silicon-based pie here. And yes, breaking the multiverse. Raspberry pie. That raspberry pie may not be a lie. The edibleness and tastiness of it as a snack maybe a little fabricated.
It looked like it would be a little crunchy there in the middle, but them raspberries look tasty. I love raspberries.
Oh my God, dude, I totally front-ended a relationship with like the greatest dessert I had ever made. It's like somebody said, "Oh, they like raspberries and stuff." All right. So here's what you do. You get one of those like fancy wine glasses, but not actually up on the stem because that can fall over and get really messy. You just have it in like the half
Piper
wine
knows
glass.
that for firsthand repeatedly.
That's why she needs like the big bottles and stuff. Like stems there. But all I know is all right, you put some flavored whipped cream on the bottom. You put a strawberry in the middle. All right. Layer of raspberry surrounding it. Different flavor of whipped topping, another strawberry, blackberries all around, and just you alternate that and everything. And oh man, I came in with those desserts, and I think I ruined that poor woman's life.
Oh no!
I'm just saying, yes, they can be extremely tasty snacks. You may not want a computer board in there. Because some people may really like computer boards. Most mortals, it's not good for eating. Maybe if there's some like chip fairy or something, maybe it will work. I'm not familiar with the silicon-based fairies. I feel like there's a lot of stuff here that could be easily clipped into multiple different points of context.
Oh yeah.
I guess. Thank you. Thank you. I'll take that. I'm not sure I should cross between a young Axl Rose and old Kevin Smith. All I know is at least the preview they had for He-Man when they put it to what was it? I need a hero, and that song, and they put it to the old song there. I thought that was entertaining. To be fair, I didn't even finish the season. I got like halfway through and everything, and then everybody got big mad, and then I never heard people talk about it again. So I assumed the end of the season was actually okay. If it was phenomenal, you might hear one or two people talk about it. If it was terrible, you'd hear lots of people talking about it. Since I didn't hear much of anything, I just assumed it was okay. No, I'll take it. Listen, if the shoe fits, see, I have for a while claimed to maybe be a dollar store Ryan Reynolds. Now, no hate to my dollar store friends. It's just one of the last times I went in there. I got lots of tasty snacks and high fructose corn syrup, and I myself, an XX at this point, ex Mrs. Memes or so. We got tummy aches. Those were personal choices, not the effect of the dollar store. I felt like I needed to give that explanation because a lot of people like the dollar store or Dollar General. Whichever dollar thing you prefer, even though a dollar don't go as far as it used to.
I was gonna say, even though it's really hard to find anything for an actual dollar in these stores.
Dude, I was thinking about this earlier. $5 footlongs from Subway. How long ago was that? 10, 15 years ago? Because it was like $5.
$5 foot long. Yeah. It wasn't even that long ago, but
yeah, and then they had the commercials with that Jared that did the walking and then ate those sandwiches and lost all that weight, and then he did some talking to some really young people he shouldn't have, and then he like went to jail and stuff, and yeah, that they ain't no more $5 footlongs, my friends.
Yeah, they're like $7 with a coupon.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Even I'm just like, wait a second, without a coupon, I'm usually spending like $10.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, I guess that's what happens when you just print trillions of dollars. Okay.
Now they should redo the jingle and just put $5 6-inch, whatever. Like,
it doesn't quite have the same ring to it, Fizz, though. It's like $5 6-inch. That sounds like the behind the corner, behind the dive bar at some point in Vegas.
Yeah.
Got one of those sounds to it. Hey,
every inch after 6 costs extra, guys.
Oh god. Oh, We're all going to hell. We're giving, and you can leave a tip.
Yeah.
You can leave, the size of the tip may vary, so it's the show's not made for children. So,
Despite appearances.
Yes. Despite myself looking like some Saturday morning cartoon character, and Fizz being an adorable chibi wolf girl that may be the future Wolfram assistant. Yeah, we can be quite raunchy at times. Okay, as well as we got Lug. Lug is commenting a big hello to the dynamic duel of Thursday night's memes and the celestial wolf of happiness, Fizzy.
Aw, thank you. The celestial wolf of happiness until I get tricked about pie again. And then I'm the celestial wolf of Angie.
So, Lug, if in the next 2 weeks you happen to be going to Ohio, can you pick me up a large amount of delicious fudge? I may owe somebody some snacks, because it's not like I would title the whole thing Raspberry Pie. So somebody's like, I'm a happy wolf girl, a happy wolf girl. Meme said there was going to be pie, and he totally wouldn't lie again.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me like 3 or more times, shame on me for sure.
Mm-hmm. At least we're consistent.
Shame on you even harder.
Okay. Harder shame. Shame. Moldy raspberries in your face. Oh God, those are terrifying because they're very green and everything.
Oh yeah, dude, they look like they look like they're turning into like creatures when they get all furry. Like bugs.
Yeah, it's yeah.
What kills me the most is the mold usually starts on the inside, and if you're not looking, and it looks tasty on the outside, you eat it, and you're like, "That."
And it ain't supposed to be fuzzy.
Yeah, you gotta remember look inside your raspberry.
That taste that goes everywhere.
Yeah,
the tart thing, so it just like shoots out everywhere. Okay. Okay, so all right, we'll make sure there's no horrific porn in the way, because we're on Twitter. It's okay. Lug's got you. Lug will bring the pie. All right.
Yay, pie!
So happy. All right. So this is from like 8 hours ago. I kind of get up and I see this, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And I see stuff. It's like, folks, I think we've done this. Now this dude is a prominent Twitter person. At least he's prominent enough that apparently he was on with Professor Jordan Peterson like a year or so ago. So I just noticed this guy. He was posting interesting things. It seems to have a high level of accuracy, and he seems to at least occasionally be like, if he's using someone else's video, cite where it came from and stuff. So I appreciate that. It's like about 8 hours ago, folks, I think we have done it. Overnight, the tests confirm we have open source DeepSeek R1 running at 200 tokens per second on a non-internet connected Raspberry Pi. Don't worry, I don't understand myself what all those words mean.
I was about to say, why would there be an internet connected Raspberry Pi? I think Raspberry Pi is traditionally not internet connected to begin with.
But I think Raspberry Pi basically, for those that might not be familiar, Raspberry Pi is a piece of hardware that folks will often use to emulate like older video games and other stuff that's basically open there, where they could basically download a software thing. It's like a very simple personal computer, kind of like a Mac Mini, except like minier and cheaper.
Whoa.
So, because I have some friends, like, they would play, like, they'd have like thousands of like Super Nintendo games or PlayStation games and stuff that they could play there. So basically it's a small, fairly inexpensive computer, typically $100-$200, maybe a little more or less depending on model. But it's a small little computer, so as a computer could have some ports, so you could probably connect it there. Now, the reason why this is important, in my opinion, is that when they say open source, that means there ain't no copyright on this. So it might be from there was a group about a year or two ago that they started doing their own training on a chat GPT thing, and they were just training it all within their community, and then they did the crazy thing is once they were getting up to around the current levels of chat GPT at that time, they published the paper, and then they just disbanded the group. And they're like, listen, this is all open source. You can do what you want with it. And they walked away. At the time, people were like, wait a second. You may have literally walked away from $1 billion. And they're like, yes. We just wanted to show that if people are passionate and come together, they can freaking just do it and not necessarily be like, give me money, give me money, give me money. They proved that it could be done. I have no idea if it's that open source stuff, but ultimately, this is stuff that you could download for free, hypothetically. I ain't telling you what to do. And DeepSeek R1 apparently is one of the higher end style models. And I believe actually that probably is the open source model there, because I've had people asking on my side streams about like using that for different forms of computation or asking it what it thinks about the physics things. I think I used Google's Gemini, I think yesterday for a few minutes. It actually seemed to give a pretty good answer, actually.
I don't even know what 200 tokens per second means.
No, here's the thing. And again, I don't specifically know either. Because in your knowledge of gaming, what is a token?
You use them to get stuff. An item
have
that
you never
you can
been to an
collect.
arcade where you have like quarters or tokens?
Exactly.
You put it in a machine and it allows you to play, right?
Mm.
It's kind of the same thing. It's every one of those tokens is a certain amount of information that it's utilizing to compute. That's its resources that it's using. Now, depending on how the system is set up, it may be doing different things. But because I've heard even in the Wolfram things, it'll be like where it's the amount of allocation that they're utilizing to compute something. So I think was a standard chat GPT thing is probably maybe like 100 tokens or something like that. I don't know. And again, those numbers probably within about that magnitude. If you use the fancier models, and especially like the really expensive models that might actually think, quote unquote, for a while, they may use several thousand tokens. But apparently at this, they're at 200 tokens per second. So I don't think he'd be writing that if it wasn't good. Could be wrong.
Sure.
On a non-internet connected Raspberry Pi. Because right now, much of the computation that's being done for these large language models such as ChatGPT or AI agents, it's being done in the cloud.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, oh, we're doing this in the cloud because we need all these supercomputers and everything. It appears, and there have been rumors of this, you might not need to be reaching out to the cloud to do all this. We might have enough computational power in a small, inexpensive device, more or less, to provide high-level performance up there with the big dogs. And you could literally just do it in your pocket. The reason why I give this credence and don't just say, oh, okay, another person just claiming a bunch of things is, one, this dude has been pretty accurate. And number two, I've heard rumors that Apple is looking to do something like this on your iPhone, not via its iCloud and everything, and people have enough problems with iCloud. But just literally, if you have an iPhone and you had a program set up on it, if it was trained right, you could just do a quick AI agent on your phone and then not even need to have internet connectivity. And that's why this is a big deal, because it appears that you can do it with the tools that are currently available. So let's see. What is a computer sensor?
This is open source, so anybody can also like have this and do what they want with the AI to turn it into. This sounds like it's gonna go great.
I know, what could go wrong?
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
No, but this is the age we're in, and I know like President Trump signed something to. There are different banks that are apparently supposedly going to be investing like $500 billion into AI infrastructure here in the U.S. And I saw a meme Maybe I'll get to it in a minute. But it was a meme. You could tell it was just a standard AI generated thing. And it's basically got these two gargantua. One is China, the other is US. It's like in the battle for AI, and it's like the US and China are going at it, and then they have a silly, kind of poorly drawn Europe trying to put the square peg in the round hole.
Oh no!
And I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
Oh, that
Like,
is messed up.
it's sad. I know it's not precisely true, but the vibe of it is because you hear,
Right,
you
I
hear
was
a lot
like,
of
it's funny
Europeans
because
and,
it's
like,
kind of true. Like,
it's like yeah, because even like the UK's like, we are gonna do an AI thing. And it's like there are leaders and then there are doers and stuff, and like you're listening to Keir Sharma and you're like, what? Did you just say something? Now listen, whether you agree with President Trump or not, you throw $500 billion, something's probably gonna happen there. Okay.
yeah.
And he's like, we will spend some money on some things. And it's like that's why the meme resonated for me. Again, maybe it's just my irreverent, probably spectrumy nature. But
I feel like Japan would be a big fighter in the AI race.
I still just love the AI generated. Create a monster for each country. And like America was Deathwing. And I'm like, okay, that seemed fair. That seemed fair. And you had all these cool monsters. I guess in Japan, it's literally just Godzilla because, well, that makes sense.
Of course.
And it's checked out, so you go with that. Hey, Kevin, you know what? I'm still about a week out from having crap health care. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of holes and everything. No, I had to sign up.
Hey, when I hurt myself, guess what I get to do? I get to go directly to the doctor and get seen and get treated and stuff. I don't have to get on a waiting list. Months for like a broken foot.
Yeah, don't get me. That's a whole other issue, and a lot of that is, in my opinion, people just talking past each other and just not even wanting to try to work out certain things because it's like, all right, why should an aspirin from a hospital cost like $60? Well,
Yeah.
because they can bill for that, and you have the system. It's so complicated. It's like, I mean, like, could you just go in and be like, hey, doctor, here's like, just like pay him in like cash and stuff like that for these things. Like if these are the costs and everything like that, rather than having to fight with it. That's a
Well, the problem, the problem is there hasn't been a perfect freaking model that doesn't screw people somewhere.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of different stuff, but all right. So the whole point about potential doomsday AI is at least it's looking like that if we could get, they're saying a full frontier AI better than open AI, fully owned by you in your pocket, free to use. I'm gonna make the image, blah blah blah. You just pop it into a Raspberry Pi, and you have AI. I mean that's very mimetic right there. That actually sounds kind of cool. And then they got this picture right here, which, to be fair, actually did because it's basically just basic chipset right there for Raspberry Pi 5, looks like. Okay. Oh, it's a hat drive.
Kevin.
It's a hat drive. Oh, that's adorable.
Aww. I agree that the ambulance should be free. I feel like that should be a public service, kind of like, like police and fire people. Like, you don't pay them to come out and do their thing. I don't think you should.
I had an ambulance bill for like, what was it, $800 or something like that. And it wasn't even for me. It's like a couple of my buddies got to do a thing. And then they're like, you want to just ride with us? It's like, oh, okay. And I rode like shotgun or something, or like next to my friend.
You got billed for sitting in there?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, and I talked to my insurance, and then I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, the amount of BS and everything is all I'm saying is, according to, I think Citizens United, companies are people. That's fine. If companies are people, then the board of directors are their tribute. Savvy? They get charged with crimes. Bring forth the board of directors because they're in charge of all the stuff that go. Listen, you should never make me emperor of the United States. I'll do a lot of horrible things. The Nobel Prize in AI. The Nobel Prize for Physics went to one of the gentlemen that worked on one of the generative algorithms that was used in a lot of modern AI. It was in physics. So who won? Let's see. Nobel Prize Physics. Will they add a thing for AI? I have no idea. I mean, they
I was
should
gonna
add one.
say, is there a Nobel Prize for AI?
And no, because it wasn't really a concept back when Alfred Nobel was there. To be fair, there should be a Nobel Prize for math, but according to the deep lore, his wife had an affair with a mathematician, and the dude was the best mathematician in the world at the time, and he knew that if he created a category for math, it would go to that dude. So I think out of sheer spite, we don't have a Nobel Prize in math.
Oh, that's messed up. I didn't know that's something that we couldn't amend later.
Oh, they changed a whole bunch of stuff and things, but Nobel Prize in Physics, John J. Hopfield and Jeffrey Hinton.
You should love corporate personhood. Then you could do them. I would love guys, what? I beat the crap out of freaking Exxon. I just beat him up.
Oh, that's well. See, that's the thing.
I beat up Exxon. I don't know why that was the first. McDonald's was actually the first.
You can call it the. You can't call it. I was going to say the memes doctrine, but it's like the right to demand satisfaction. That's my big thing, because a lot of the times I'll see conflict on this internet of stuff and things, and I sit back and I'll hear from different sides and stuff. And I think very often it just comes down to this.
I have more information now, so the moral of the story is people were offended on the internet.
Yeah, basically.
Birdie!
I'm just... the bird runs the show. I keep on forgetting he has the bird. And then all of a sudden somebody will mention it. I'm like, oh yeah, Leon's got his bird co-host on there. He's going all around and stuff. It's cute. So we have this really fancy thing. So basically, it might literally be to the point. Okay, let's see. Look at some numbers. Oh, I thought that's an anime for a second.
Me too. Anime 2020.
Amy,
I was interested.
Go Forces. I think these are benchmarks. Okay, something bench verified. So these are okay. It says benchmark performance of DeepSeek R1. What are these things? Okay. This is apparently, I'm going to assume, from the Pi thingy. This is Open AI, that version, DeepSeek, other ones, DeepSeek, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to assume this is the R1 thing he was talking about. So right at gray is 01 chat GPT. Okay, so it appears to be right about neck with it. Seems to eke out. OpenAI has the edge a little bit on some of these, but
not by too much.
It seems to be right up there. And for something that if you could literally just get a Raspberry Pi for a few $100 and you literally just download this and
expensive ass pie, man. It better have gold flake, edible gold flake or something. I don't know. That sounds expensive.
Oh no, we have community notes.
Oh, there's a community note.
Oh, it's a proposed community note. The model on Raspberry Pi is not the frontier model released by DeepSeek, but their smallest and worst model running at low precision. Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm not sure if that makes it better or worse. The model on Raspberry Pi is not the front one. Okay, so this was the frontier. Okay. So just the sheer fact that this could even be conceptually, even if it isn't the best, basically the way things are accelerating right now, it's really kind of crazy because stuff like this, I think, makes Andrew Yang seemed like a genius because one of his things when he was doing the campaign thing a number of years back, he's like, "Well, we're beginning the fourth great industrial revolution. Things are gonna change. There's gonna be all of this. There's gonna be all of that." And then he was like the one dude who's like, "Listen. A lot of jobs are going to be going away. Maybe we should prepare for that. Maybe we should try to change up the economy into a way that kind of makes sense. That maybe we can kind of, I don't know, maybe actually like do some better stuff." Just a thought there.
Everybody is gonna need to learn to code.
The terrible thing is maybe not, because apparently this stuff is learning to code so well that a lot of programming jobs might be going away. There'll still be jobs
Man,
for some
okay, yeah,
programmers,
we're
but,
on
like,
our
a
way
lot of
to human zoos to entertain robots.
We're
We're gonna be
approaching
obsolete,
WALL-E.
guys.
We're approaching Disney's WALL-E at epic rate.
Yeah,
Care of the
shoot.
Earth, man. Just
Bro.
saying, but Kevin is commenting. Randomly, my PhD included AI in 2000. See, that's fascinating.
We've been working
because-
on this stuff for a long time. It all just sounded like science fiction until like maybe the past decade or two.
Well, AI is a weird thing because it had come up apparently, I think, when they were first starting to do computers and stuff. Because like the original Turing test, so to speak, was that, all right, if you're typing on a computer or something, you have like some chat box or something, can you tell if you were talking to a human being or a robot? If you can't, that was the original Turing test. I think most folks right now would say, yeah, a lot of these things, ChatGPT, Gemini, R1, or whatever it is, they seem to fully pass the Turing test because it can at least have a conversation. And to be fair, the way you could probably tell it might not be human it is if it's too correct.
Yeah, especially if its grammar is good. That's a big indicator that
Is this why I've gotten called the NPC? Because I'll still use commas before my quotations on Twitter. And I feel like that's a very formalized thing to do that you really don't need to use on Twitter, but I'll still do it.
Both me and Piper actually dumbed down our typing to be more approachable / relatable / whatever. Which is funny for her because she doesn't do it as much as I do because she's supposed to be an editor. So, but basically type in posts the way we text our friends when you're in a hurry and crap like that. And all that internet shorthand and stuff like that helps.
WYD.
Exactly, except for when I still have to ask what half of it means because they invented new
To be
stuff.
fair,
and
I
I'm like,
literally
"What?"
didn't know until probably about like a day or so ago. It's like, what the heck is that? Oh, context. What you doing? Oh, that's very lazy.
Yeah, usually I can figure it out with context. Sometimes I've had to just look it up. Like, what the hell does this mean? Which is better than what Piper does. She forgets that Google's a thing. She just asks.
It's
and
like
then forgets right after.
It's literally, I do not understand the words coming out of your mouth. It's maybe it is the case, maybe it is not the case. What is the actual case? I have no idea. Now is AI going to come out and then all of a sudden just take over? And listen, what happens when you start having, as we've discussed on this channel, what happens when the AI just starts roasting people on the internet? What happens when you literally have a live stream hosted by an AI agent? So what happens if you have somebody like a Fizz here and she's doing all her Fizz-like things, her mouth is moving, no words are coming out and everything, but if she kept doing things like that and was entertaining, but it was actually Fizz GPT? Yes, just like that.
So apparently for this model, like apparently the tracker, right? thinks my lips are too big. I think.
Oh.
So it thinks my mouth is open when it's closed, unless I freaking do this weird thing where I tuck my lips in. And that'll keep the mouth completely still. But otherwise, even if my mouth is closed...
we've gone over this before. Yeah. It's lip discrimination.
Yeah, it took me forever to figure out what was why it was happening, and then I narrowed it down to that.
I just looked. I'm like, oh my god! Now that I actually like blew up the screen, I'm like, wait a second, I could actually see that happening. I'm like, is that just lag? Is it just doing this? Or it's scanning. It's like, I think something is moving. No, but that's just wolf body.
Yeah. Oh, another thing is I have it set to go off of like mouth movement and sounds to try and make it more accurate. And so if it picks up any slight sound, it'll make my mouth twitch too. But for the most part, yeah, I gotta tuck my lips in.
I mean, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, and it's uncomfortable, so I'm just gonna have a twitchy mouth.
Let your
as
mouth
for the unsynced, the blinking not being synced up, I'm pretty sure I can do a setting that forces it to be synced up. But I'm just gonna assume that this is how I blink my eye.
I'm just going with it because occasionally I'll take like a screenshot or something, and it's just like, and I'm like, it's too perfect not to use. It's just like has to go into like a meme or something like that, and whether I'm framing Jolly for a crime he didn't commit, or blackmailing McKinney into getting you onto his show or something like that. I mean, I would never do things like that. I mean, I'd be like lying to a wolf girl about there being pie here. So, I mean, I would ever do such a horrific thing. It's
I almost forgot.
Yeah. Oh, so
I actually think it's my glasses is why my eyes do that, because glasses messes with VTubing hardcore.
What is this? Hold on. We're getting more things there. Oh, hey, Charlie. Charlie's commenting. Once you have a primordial perception, geometry comes into existence. Good evening memes. I mean, that was a pretty deep thing.
Geometry go back where it came from.
Oh. Wait, are you talking about geometry or the drink? Because I heard something like, oh.
No, geometry.
Oh. What do you guys against geometry?
I hated that subject.
You hate. Listen, just because
that and calculus and algebra. Well, those three can go to hell.
Okay. So full disclosure, I stopped understanding math halfway through the 6th grade because our teacher was like, "You don't need to know this now, but it'll be useful later." She taught us how to cross multiply fractions. So I was doodling in my notebook, and then next year, 7th grade comes along. We get the pre-algebra. It's like, now that you know how to cross multiply fractions, here are some letters. And then the system just moved me along.
That's where my brain broke, was algebra. Like, I got halfway through. I did perfectly fine. Halfway through Algebra 1. The second half of the year, it was like my brain broke and I understood nothing. I don't know why it happened like that, but it's so weird. But also, these are the same teachers that were like, well, you need to know this because it's not like you're going to have a calculator in your pocket at all times.
Yeah. Yes, because I'm going to need to know that y equals mx plus b over the square root of 4ac and everything like that. It's like, you're telling me all these crazy things and everything, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, okay. Unless I'm going into a very specific form of engineering, or like mathematical physics or mathematics or something, unless my profession specifically has to do with this, aside from like, I don't know, addition, subtraction, some multiplication, and arithmetic and division and stuff.
I gotta count and freaking, add, subtract,
get X
multiply's
number of
good.
supplies, measure X number of
Yeah.
inches or meters or whatever you want, marking 7/8, blah, 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 doing all that stuff. It's like, how much of this did I really need?
Well, plenty of
Now,
it is useful for life, but I can't think of a situation where you wouldn't have a calculator of some sort while doing like complex mathematics. Like, I don't think you'd be doing that at the cash register. Like,
I mean, it's not like these complex calculators are available free that you can use if you are on the internet or have a device with this downloaded. I mean, it's not like you can just do something like, listen, I'm just saying, like, there's cool stuff in math, but you need to make it relatable. Like
Yeah.
teach it, it's like, all right, if you had a Pokemon deck, you're allowed to have X number of cards, you're going against these type of opponents. How would you optimize your deck? And it's like, all right, you have a water opponent. Maybe don't have all your fire Pokemon, your Charizards, your Charmeleons, your Charmeleons, and wondering why you're getting Raffle stomped. You teach people there's a type advantage here, so you leverage your resources and skills, and then you use whatever beats water. Is it rock? Does rock beat water or is it air? I forget.
you know what?
Is it bug?
No, not bug, but I can't remember. I think Earth.
That makes sense. All right, so like rock.
Oh,
So
plant. Plant is strong
Plant.
against water because the water
it makes sense because they would eat them.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so I think that's the strongest
And
one.
then
Was
fire would
grass.
be strong against plants because
Yeah.
burningness. Okay, see, like the logic pans out, and it's just your standard type system, like advantage and disadvantage.
That's why fire is
So-
also strong against steel type too, because it can melt them.
Get them melty.
That
Like
get really
gooey
hot for
grilled
that.
cheese. Molten cheese.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which ones. We won't get into. But I'm just saying, like, if you give somebody a reason for learning math, where it's like, all right, if you had stuff like this, where it's like, all right, I'm just typing this, eggs mass divided by something, fingers work.
I mean,
like
look, the
math.
best example was the Piper in school. Her science class was using the same math as her math class, and she was really good at that math in her science class, but not so good at the exact same kind of math in her actual math class. And it was because in the science class she understood exactly what she needed to figure out and why. In her math class, it was just, here's a problem, some numbers, do the thing.
Yeah, I find having a reason to do the thing made it a whole lot better, because it's like, again, it's like, if Timmy has 5 apples and Sally has 4 apples, and Sally gives Timmy 2, or how many? All due respect to Sally and Timmy, I don't care how many apples they have. That's just it's just so boring and monotonous and everything. Whereas it's like, all right, we have this thing. All right, we need to have so much of this to do this, and then that's why I think for business it becomes more intuitive, because it's like, all right, we can invest in this. We're expecting this potential return. There could be this deviation, or you can invest in this. This is a safer asset, or blah blah blah. Based upon these parameters, which would be a better thing to invest in, given your risk tolerance of whatever it is there. It's like, you want to go for the risky thing, you want to go for the other thing, how's the market looking? So it's like you're putting it into a context. It's like playing a game. It's like, all right, well, this seems to actually make a lot of sense because I can actually think about these things and try to put it there, where it's like, here are some squiggles on a chalkboard. Okay, have at it. It's like
when you're playing the MMO and you get freaking tired of the buttholes on the MMO, so you intentionally destroy the entire economy and then move to a different server. You systematically completely destroy the entire economy to where they actually get rid of the auction house thing to try and reset everything.
I believe we've covered this, didn't you?
Yes.
Did you destroy an economy with like daffodils or something?
Seashells.
Seashells.
No, it was pearls. Pearls.
Pearls.
That are really easy to get. You just got to go to this one place. But yeah, it was like crap we were fishing up for free. That's easy to fish up for free. We managed to destroy the entire server's economy, and the game shut down the auction house and reset it and tried to tweak the rules and this and that so that we couldn't do it again, but we did. Until the server was just like, you know what? Auction house is not working. We're just not going to have that.
Wow. You literally destroyed capitalism in a video game.
And it was a phone game, too. It was a little phone game. Just a couple of friends giggling and looking at their phones and making bank until money had zero value.
It's the fascinating thing is you spend enough time on the internet, you meet some very interesting people here. We got some very interesting stuff going on in the chat talking about mathematics is philosophy. I mean, mathematics is basically just logic. It's just a lot of times people think it's numbers, and then you start to get to higher level math, and then you often don't see a number over 10 for like years, which is kind of an interesting thing, maybe. But
a lot of
I got some friends. Got some friends that like are mathematicians. No, a lot of it's just like if this, then that. So it's kind of like Kevin's commenting. What is it? It equals Apple A and Apple B. It's like, all right, is Apple B the same as Apple A? It's like, okay, you might have two of the category of Apple, or maybe it's group or something like that. Because there's a particular structure you would use. You have a category of thing, then you have groups, and then you have subgroups, and then you have sets, and you do all of this. And depending on how you formulate things, there's different ways. But it's like, all right, so an apple is a food. An apple could be a projectile. Maybe everyone's just like, boo, and you start throwing your moldy apples and raspberries at me. Fair play. But to be fair, every apple, as far as we know, it's going to be a wee bit different there. It's going to have a slightly different mass and everything.
Can one apple be the same as another apple? But the thing is, the problem was just asking for the number of apples, not the amount of apple. In which case, each individual's apple's mass would come into play, because now you're trying to figure out who has more actual apple. But when it's saying apples, that means individual fruits. So it doesn't really matter what size it is, because they're counting who has more individual apples, not who has more apple. Hope that helps.
Maybe the number of apples may depend or factor into the amount of apple itself, because some apples might be larger, some apples might be smaller, and everything. I think as a general zero level approximation for humans and stuff, 1 apple, 2 apple, 3 apple. Actually, that made me remember. I have apples. You got me hungry. Buzz, take over the show for about 3 seconds.
So if Sally only has 4 individual apples, then you count each fruit.
Okay, that's enough. I don't want to hear any more about Sally's apples.
Wait, but then if you're asking who ends up with the better end of the deal, if Timmy has a bunch of like little freaking, I don't know, crab apples, and Sally has like giant freak apples.
Delicious.
Like the red delicious, like the big old ones with the skin that's nasty though, because you can't seem to eat the dang skin. Then technically Sally had more apple, even though she had 4 apples, and Timmy had 6. Sally had more apple, because hers were huge.
And crab apple is a subset of like tasty apple and stuff. Some people
crab apple was just, I was trying to think of a tiny apple or a tiny thing labeled an apple.
I'm going to assume Fuji apples are small. I might just be racist about that.
Oh, they are tasty though, man. I like them. They're my favorites.
Some of those apples.
I wish they were bigger though, because they are small.
Luke's commenting if Sally has 10 apples, she's rich.
No, she has 10 eggs. She's rich. Woo!
Oh, yeah. Eggs are apparently like ridiculously expensive in different places again. Yeah, I don't know. I just like when eggs out here on the coast got to be like really expensive, like $10 or $12 for like a carton, like
Whew.
like normal eggs or whatever. I'm like, I was in Utah at the time, and folks over there noticed it's like, oh, eggs have gotten really expensive. It was like 4.50, maybe $5 for like cage free or something like that. It's like,
Mm.
oh, eggs have gotten pretty expensive, and it's like, no, man, on the coast they're paying like over $10 for a car and stuff. It's like twice as expensive.
It's a scarcity thing too. Where's the eggs coming from? Is it harder to get eggs? That's why one thing that drove me crazy is fish, seafood, and stuff. Very cheap in Louisiana, especially along the coast of the Gulf of
Of America,
America.
Mexico.
The Gulf of America. Back in my day, I swam in the Gulf of Mexico. I didn't get to swim in the Gulf of America.
Oh, that's like one of those achievements you can no longer do. You can no longer swim in the Gulf of Mexico. Swim in the Gulf of America. Oh God, we just said all these different human achievements and stuff, and just so random and sporadic. Why? Because it's the age of chaos here, and agents like me thrive on stuff like this. We're just throwing all these norms and stuff out the window. Why? Because we can, and different reasons, and
Can if you're British.
oh, that's fair.
What,
Yeah,
swim in the Gulf of
they're
Mexico?
not recognizing it right now.
Yeah. That's just kind of a weird thing to.
Go on.
It makes sense actually to be Gulf of America because Mexico is South America. So yeah, and the Gulf is primarily touching America. So it actually makes sense to be the Gulf of America the whole time. It makes less sense to be the Gulf of Mexico, but it's still a weird thing to be like, we're gonna change the name of this. Like it feels random. Like.
It feels totally unnecessary. It is totally unnecessary, but you're correct. It is actually more accurate.
Yeah, it's more accurate to call it the Gulf of America. It's just
Central America, South America.
Yeah,
Gulf of America actually is more inclusive. So,
yeah, it makes a lot more sense to be called because it's not like they're trying to call it the Gulf of the United States of America.
No, but that's the insinuation there. And
I think that's just what people are taking from it. People are going
like, "Oh, America."
Yeah, people are taking it as, oh well, American dude wants to call it Gulf of America. Obviously, they mean USA, USA, and I'm kind of like, no, it actually just makes logical sense for it to have always been the Gulf of America. Because, people need to remember their geography and remember that America is not the United States. It's
I mean, I'm sure you could just say like, no. It was based in colonialism, therefore it was used as a derogatory term, so we need to get rid of it. So use that justification, and if other people proposed it, I'm sure they would be all right with it. But I don't know. I feel like if we looked into it,
I have more information now, so the moral of the story is people were offended on the internet.
Yeah, basically.
That seems like probably one of the most useful clips I've ever uploaded.
Yeah, I know. But yeah. I think it's because of who decided, and the fact that was like one of the first things he did was just wild to me. Like, of all the things to be that important.
It's just a random nationalistic thing. It's like,
right? I was like, I've just been itching to rename this thing. That's the first thing I'm gonna do.
But he signs a pen. He says a thing. And now we're going to have years of correspondence saying, we are planning our trip through the Gulf of Mexico. And you're going to have a response from like some cruise company that's based in the U.S. And then they're going to say, through the Gulf of America. And then you cited here. Every time we say this, we mean this because of this. And you're just going to have people like correspondence crossing things out. And it sounds like it's just going to make it into it's just trolling, and it's like, who does that affect? To be fair, the bigger thing would be it's like Greenland, our land. Why? You're gonna pay off the people of Greenland a whole butt ton of money so we could have it there. Why? Well, it's not like I saw something from Fortune or The Economist like a day or two ago saying, yes, the world needs rare Arctic resources. I wonder where some of those rare Arctic resources might be. That's a lot of room closer for potential ICBM launches. Uh, I'm not saying it all comes down to territory to place nuclear weapons, but I think a lot of it is.
I propose that we strong arm Iceland and Greenland into switching their names the way we should have been.
Strong, I'm just look at them.
Yeah, wasn't that done on purpose though?
That's the greatest historic troll of all time. It's like,
Yeah.
This is a pretty green place and everything. A lot of people might want to come here. Oh, this place is a bit further north. It's really icy and everything.
Let's call it Greenland, so everybody wants to go over here instead of over where we are.
How about we tell everybody, hey, we're gonna name this place Greenland, and we'll leave it at that, so people want to come to it. We want to see the massive greenness of this immense, wonderful place. What happened when we got there? Yes. Because once they saw Iceland and they saw how non-icy it was, of course they're going to want to get to Greenland to see the real green stuff. But
it was a brilliant move. Like, hey, we want to keep this all to ourselves, so we're going to make it sound unpleasant to be here.
Hey, K-Shells, welcome to the end of our extraneous romp into potential jingoistic nationalism or something, according to some administration.
Oh, I was talking about fish, the price of fish. That's how we got all the way over here. Yeah, that was one thing that drove me crazy moving to where I am now. Fish is pricey over here. Oh my god, man. We even have the lakes, and it don't matter because the fish is pricey over here.
Now, do a lot of fish come from the lakes, or are those like?
I don't know.
I don't know
how much they actually get from them lakes, but I know all the good stuff. I guess is expensive over here. I thought seafood was like. Hello, Mr. Malky. Seafood's treated like poor people food in Louisiana. Like it's cheap.
Really? That's it. No, well, see, maybe it's because I'm a coastal person. Apparently, it's we still just charge a butt ton for seafood and stuff. It's delicious and everything, and it's fresh. But yeah, we still charge like a butt ton of money. Why?
Oh yeah, no, in Louisiana they will in the touristy areas, but that's also because they make fancy meal. They cook it fancy. I don't know.
They
do
make
fancy
chowders.
They do fancy stuff that's like. How did you get tangled up in my cores? You freaking cats, man. Okay.
Well, he must have heard us talking about fishes. Why?
I guess so.
I love the fishes episode. I love fish.
Meow.
And my mom says it's okay. Again. A bumptious Brit. I've never heard that term before.
What is bumptious?
I don't know. I don't. It's hold on. Bumptious. Oh my god, it's a word. Self-asserted or proud of to an irritating degree. Right. I think Kevin might be from the UK, so I believe he's allowed to say that. Because Stephen Wolfman is British and everything, and I'm not gonna say, depending on who I've talked to, I feel other folks might say that. Oh, see, I learned a new word. That's such a British word too. It seems, is it? Well, it came from Oxford Languages Dictionary, so I'm gonna assume yes. Yeah, listen. People are free to their own interpretations and everything. I think the thing is with models, whatever model you're gonna use, it's your method of thinking about whether it's a model for clothing or stuff like that. You have your own thoughts of what would be good for this, what type of person would we want for that, whether you're trying to figure out science and physics or mathematics and where the barrier may or may not be between them. Like a lot of it comes down to your ability to think about it in a way. If string theory helps one understand the world at a deeper level and have a better insight into what might be going on, you do you, boo. If a really logical or a hypergraph based approach helps, that's fantastic. whatever helps a person conceptualize and do better in their life, in their existence, in their persistence, and whatever they're really trying to accomplish in the best way possible. I don't really care. I'm the boss of anybody. But that's about what we got. So, Liz, we're at the end of the show. What do you got except for looking for pie?
I'm gonna play on Twitch some more at 9 Eastern. More Yakuza.
Yakuza?
Mhm.
Have you gotten past the racing game that I originally thought was the entire game?
I got past one of the racing games. I still have to go and play the one in the arcade. I still have to beat that one. And that is in order to progress my the real estate part of Yakuza. So that's been fun and
How big is that game?
This game's got everything in it. Oh my goodness.
And it's got sequels too.
Yeah.
So
And they're all supposed to be equally as pumped full of side games and mini games and
so it's like Grand Theft Auto except Yakuza.
yeah. And no
Whoa.
driving.
Well, maybe that's better, except for the little driving rally car games that
The little card, yeah.
It's a heck of a thing. So, all right. So, Fizz, we've got some Yakuza coming up in a few hours on Twitch. We got Fizz's stuff and things there in the doobly doo and the chat and everything. So, feel free to go bother Fizz over there because he enjoys it apparently. Any parting words? Bad Kitty.
Bad Kitty!
All right, you heard it there, folks.
I'm broken. You broke me. Oh no. Oh dear. You guys! You guys! I just want to hug some gold!